Do you have an ultimate foundation from which you can make non-arbitrary statements?
Can you ask the question again? I didn't hear you.
Do you have an ultimate foundation from which you can make non-arbitrary statements?
What does ultimate authority mean in this context?
I said ultimate foundation, sir. Is there an ultimate basis whatsoever from which you can make non-arbitrary statements?
No.
Good. Thank you. It's over.
I have the high ground.
Any more talking from you is you're whistling past the graveyard. It's just verbiage. It's sound and fury signifying nothing. It's over.
I have the high ground.
Does that hold true
What's so
for
sad
you?
is he doesn't get it.
I'm not trying to be dismissive, Pogan. What you're not reeling. You have no basis from which to make predications. You just conceded to that. It's over.
I have the high ground.
Reject subjectivity with respect to meaning.
Listen to me. Listen, dude. What don't you get? You know, your response to me is like the teenager who's committing vandalism, and the police says you're under arrest. It's over.
I have the high ground.
And the teenager continues to resist arrest while he's getting handcuffed, and he's still struggling. It's over.
I have the high ground.
Once you tell me you don't have a foundation to make assertions, then whatever comes out of your mouth is sound and fury signifying nothing.
Am I allowed to speak?
Yeah, you can, but it's going to be arbitrary gobbledygook.
Somaka sede dalamoko. Manda kishiti kolora bashata. Manda kalaboho. Masiki lomoko da masa. Kadita na namosoya lama. Kamba sokoya.
Well, again, I don't understand how this doesn't hold true for your system, which of course would lead to the conclusion that all assertions with respect to objectivity are arbitrary. We just agree on presuppositions.
Is there an ultimate foundation from which you can make the intelligible statement that you don't understand?
What the hell did you just say?
What do you mean? I'm sorry, that I don't understand?
Is there an ultimate foundation for you to make an intelligible, metaphysically intelligible predication such as I don't understand blank?
If you're saying that it has to be ultimate, no.
Okay, so again, it's over.
I have the high ground.
Thank you very much for your time.
I'm not sure I follow the reasoning.
Okay.
That's quite clear.
Do you have an ultimate foundation from which you can make a metaphysically intelligible predication says, I'm not following X? Do you have such a foundation?
I have a subjective starting point.
No, I asked you, is there an ultimate foundation from which you can make metaphysically intelligible predications?
That would depend upon whether or not you consider a presupposition.
It doesn't matter what I think, dude. Listen to me. I'm at the point now where I'm getting angry with you. Is because now you know that I know that you are being deceitful right now. And you're just simply trying to save face to other people in the room. Is there a foundation in reality from which you can make metaphysically intelligible predications? Yes or no?
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
They can be intelligible with respect to subjective.
Is there a fucking foundation from which you can make a metaphysically intelligible statement? Yes or no?
It's not objective, but yes.
What is the foundation?
I consider an axiomatic starting point to be that the laws of logic are valid.
Okay, so you're telling me that something that you imagine is your foundation?
I have to, otherwise a conversation can't happen.
Okay, you have to. Is that an arbitrary statement?
With respect to objectivity?
Listen, dude. Okay, listen. The conversation's over, dude. You have now degenerated into being dishonest.
Liar!
Because you have no basis to make statements. None. And you just want to throw verbiage at it. You want to be verbose. And you think by being verbose that you're being substantive. But you're not saying anything substantive because you cannot account for any foundation from which to make metaphysically viable statements. Watch, folks. He'll keep on doing it again.
Am I permitted to respond? Mods? I don't think I'm being dishonest.
You are. You're being completely dishonest.
Right.
Yeah, you're being completely dishonest, Pogan.
And arbitrary.
You're being completely dishonest. Once you concede, you cannot account for the foundation from which your predications come, then your predications are metaphysically unintelligible. Do you know what metaphysical intelligibility means?
Yes.
Good. You don't have a foundation, and if you don't have a foundation, your words don't mean anything with respect to the system. Then it's sound and fury signifying nothing.
So does this hold true for all worldviews that make objective assertions?
It holds true for all worldviews where one cannot account for the ultimate foundation, which means all worldviews that do not adhere to the creator of the universe, the God of the Bible, who has sovereignly revealed himself in natural and special revelation.
Right. And you earlier you conceded that your reasoning for accepting the existence of the Christian God, that being natural and special revelation, was circular. You just didn't accept it as fallacious, correct?
No, I said that when you appeal to that which is the ultimate authority, the only way for the ultimate authority to be accounted for is an appeal, the communication and revelation of the ultimate authority. Because to reject that is to appeal to incoherency. There cannot be an independent source to verify that which is the ultimate authority.
Do you have a rational reason for viewing the necessity of circularity in that context as non-fallacious? Why? Yeah, go ahead.
The reason why it's non-fallacious is because if you don't accept it, you can't make any substantive statements.
Check your shot, Craig.
What I'm getting at is, it doesn't seem to me that the necessity of it means that it should be accepted. That doesn't seem like a justification.
You're wasting my time with your dishonest verbosity.
I'm not being dishonest. I'm asking you a question.
Liar!
You are being dishonest. You know it, and I do too. And you think by continuing to be verbose that you're giving a substantive response. There's no basis, there's no foundation for anything you're saying, unless you want to tell me otherwise. Is there a basis to the predications you're making? Yes or no?
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Did you answer my question?
Is there a basis to any of your assertions or predications?
I'm just interested in an answer to the question.
Is there a basis for any of your assertions?
I don't think I'm obligated to answer that question until you answer mine.
Then conversation's over. Now you're showing your true colors again. You are being completely intellectually dishonest, and you think by being persistent and being verbose that you're saying something substantive. You're not. And by the way, may I suggest a line of work for you? Maybe being a used car salesman would be very profitable for you.
Is there anyone else in here who shares Darth's view that would be interested in answering the question?
I do share Darth's view, and I think that an ultimate authority can only verify itself. God thinks all thoughts, and then we think God's thoughts after him.
Right. Whoa. My question was, why does the necessity of circularity to justify God make it non-fallacious? Something being necessary.
An ultimate authority can only verify itself.
That doesn't make sense.
What is a fallacy?
Dude, listen to me. Either you are really, really obtuse, or you're being disingenuous now. How can an ultimate authority, that which is the ultimate authority, be verified independent of itself? To suggest or to offer that which is the ultimate authority can be verified independently of itself is an incoherent statement, and it's a contradiction in terms.
What?
Well, then it would seem you would have to come to the conclusion that God cannot be rationally justified.
Okay, you're not understanding, dude. You're not understanding this. Do you understand that an independent verification of that which is the ultimate authority is incoherent? Do you understand that?
Then it makes the concept of God incoherent.
Do you understand that an independent verification of that which is the ultimate authority is incoherent?
If you hold that God has to be independently verified, then
Do
yes, that
you
would be
do you
incoherent.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Okay, good. That's incoherent. So therefore, the only way that we can verify things is an appeal to that which is the ultimate authority. And the determination of it, the verification, not the persuasion, but the verification is going to come from a self-authenticating nature. But that ultimate authority is going to have to be omniscient, omnipotent, and always truth exuding, and has a plan by which he unfolds his truth. But you see, you don't have that. And absent that foundation, you're just in a sea of sound and fury signifying nothing. So either you accept that an ultimate authority, that which is the ultimate authority, verifies itself in a revelatory way. Either you accept that. If you reject it, you will reject it either in principle or in virtue of your ultimate authority. Now, since you've gone on record and said that you reject it, do you reject it in principle, or do you reject it because it doesn't cohere with your ultimate authority?
Is this a yes or no, or can I explain my response?
It's an either or, sir. By what means do you reject the ultimate authority of the God of the Bible? Is it in principle, or because the God of the Bible does not cohere to your ultimate authority?
Sure, because there is no rational justification for why the necessity of circularity makes it not fallacious.
That's not an answer to my question.
Yes,
I'm going to keep on exposing your foolishness and your verbosity one more time. I'm going to keep this real simple. Do you reject that the God of the Bible is the ultimate authority, and we know that in virtue of his revelation that he is the ultimate authority? Do you reject that in principle because no ultimate authority, or that which is the ultimate authority, cannot verify itself?
I reject it because it's not rationally justified.
Do you reject it on that ground?
Again, I reject it because it's not rationally justified.
Okay, listen to me. If you persist in being bullshitting, I will no longer talk with you in the near future, because when people persist in being verbose and dishonest with me, and they know that I know that they're being dishonest, that's what pisses me off. When you say it's not rationally justified, how is something rationally justified? And by what?
Well, generally, it would be rationally justified if it was justified logically without the employment, the use of a circular argument, which is fallacious.
Listen to me, dude. Either you are stupid or you're being dishonest. How is a predication ultimately and finally justified? In simple terms, instead of being wordy here, how is a predication ultimately justified? Because I can answer that question. In simple terms, how is a predication ultimately justified?
If it's justified using logic without the use of a fallacy.
No, sir. You listen. You must be stupid, okay? Because you see, if you're going to appeal to a logic, okay, you're going to have to establish that certain things are the case. Number one, you're going to have to establish that there are fundamental laws of logic. Then you're going to have to establish who's the final adjudicator as to what is the case. So one more time, how is any predication ultimately justified? And don't repeat what you said before.
Well, that's my response, Darth.
Then it's worthless. It's just all you're giving me is verbiage. You see, once you reject that which is the ultimate authority verifies itself. Now, very, very simple question. Do you reject, yes or no, do you reject that which is the ultimate authority will be verified in virtue of itself? Do you reject that?
I don't think it's rational.
Okay, so you reject it. So there's no ultimate court, final court of appeal that something is the case. Is that correct? It's a simple question.
Right. Can you unpack that question for me?
Is there no ultimate final court of appeal that X or anything is the case?
Objectively, no.
Okay. Is that objectively true?
No.
Good. Thank you very much. We're done. You've totally self-imploded there. It's game over, lights out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Now, either you will continue in being dishonest and be verbose and say nothing, right? Or you are truly obtuse in understanding the dilemma that you're in.
I just wanted an answer to my question.
Yeah, your questions cannot be answered from your worldview because all is absurdity. There is no final court of appeal. So anything that I would assert to you, there's no way to determine that's the case in your view. But you see, you viewing it that way, there's no way for that to be ascertained.
Yeah.
It's game over, sir.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Would you answer the question if it were asked by somebody else?
No, we're done. No, we're done, Pogan. You don't realize. So I'm going to tell you right now, there's only two conclusions that I can reach. Either you want to persist in being dishonest for the sake of saving face, or you truly are obtuse in understanding the dilemma, the total quagmire that you're in.
So you will not answer the question.
It's game over. The question was no question can be answered in your view.
That's why I asked you if you would answer it from somebody else.
Right. Is it true? Is it true that you asked me that?
Objectively, no.
Okay. Did everyone hear that? Mm-hmm. Good. It's game over, sir.
I still don't understand why that means you can evade the question.
Yeah. Listen. It's over. We've been through this. It's like a dog chasing its tail. It's over. Your position is there's no final court of appeal. So it doesn't matter what comes out of my mouth from your perspective because there's no final court of appeal. There is no way to determine anything in your view. But how did you determine that?
Right. So that's why I asked if there was anyone in here who shared your view.
Is it your position? Is it your position that we cannot ultimately determine anything?
Objectively?
No, sir. Is it your position that something cannot in actuality be determined to be the case?
Objectively, no.
Good. And how did you come to that conclusion?
Because I fail to see the rational justification.
Did you determine that?
What do you mean when you say determine?
Did you determine that that's the case? Ascertain that it is the case?
Sure.
How did you do that when you just admitted that you cannot ascertain that anything is the case? You have just contradicted yourself.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, all right, listen. Fuck off.
Hey guys, we gotta keep it civil, Darth.
Yeah, no. You know what? You're absolutely right. But when we have somebody, he cannot possibly be this obtuse. So all he's simply doing is he's keeping up the verbiage, the verbosity, okay, to try to pretend like he's not getting it. It's game over, lights out. At this point in the conversation, you are being completely dishonest.
Liar!
Once you say that nothing can be determined is the case, and you assert that, and I say, how did you determine that? And you're like, well, I didn't. Well, is it true that you didn't? And then you go, objectively? No, subjective. There is no subjective determination. In order to assert that something is subjective, that's an objective declaration. Your whole system, it's been eviscerated.
Right. So is there anyone in here who shares your view that would be willing to answer the question?
The question can't be answered from your point of view. Why are you asking for a question to be answered when you have just asserted a minute ago that it cannot be answered?
Would you answer the question if it was asked by somebody else?
Why are you asking for a question to be answered when you have conceded that the question cannot be answered?
Because I haven't conceded that.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Now what you're doing? Look. Listen. Now what you've done right now is you are returning to your original disposition when I ran into you. Now you're going on my troll list. I will no longer speak to you. You are being completely disingenuous, and you're now lying. Congratulations, you made it onto my troll list.
All right, that's
Ding,
fine.
ding, 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 ding. You're a winner!
So is there anyone in here that was willing to answer the question?
Yeah, this is the kind of crap that you get from these sniveling weasel lying lawyers who they keep on lying. They keep on. Saturday Night Live had a character like that, where he would say something and the person would repeat back to what he said, and he'd go, "I didn't say that. You said that. I didn't say that. What are you talking about? I didn't say that." He keeps on contradicting himself left and right, and then he keeps on moving along like I haven't exposed that he contradicted himself. It's unbelievable.
So nobody in here is willing to answer the question then?
Okay.
Would you answer the question if it were asked by somebody who held objective views?
Would the answer have to be?
I mean, it blows my mind. This blows my mind. Can somebody answer the question, but he doesn't believe that questions can be answered?
Darth, how many people are on your troll list? How large is your troll list?
Can the answer just be arbitrary, sir? Can I answer it in an arbitrary fashion?
It's a very simple question, right? This is just simple.
Is it true that it's a simple question? Did you ascertain that?
Can I answer it in an arbitrary fashion, sir? Is that okay, since what you're stating is completely
You have
arbitrary?
no choice but to answer it arbitrarily.
Mr. Batman, just tell him there are rocks on the moon. That answers the question.
And I was going to tell him that there's pink unicorns on the dark side of the moon. I like pink unicorns.
So does anyone in here have an actual answer to the question?
Why, folks? Ask yourself this question.
Right, and Alucard, when you asked me that, I asked you if you.
Why would he ask for an answer to a question when he has already conceded that questions cannot be answered?
So if somebody else were to ask you the question, you'd answer it then, Alucard.
Okay, all right, listen, dude. Listen, dude. Listen, I try. Listen, Pogan, I try with my utmost patience to be patient with people, and I occasionally here on Discord lose my temper. And this is one of the few instances when somebody is totally engaging in dishonesty. Watch, folks. I'll confront him now about his dishonesty before you all. You're all seeing this. And he's just going to continue and do it like he's an android, like he keeps on repeating the same script over and over again.
Liar!
So what was the question in regards to my dishonesty?
What's amazing to me is why does he continue to make predications when the predications themselves cannot be ascertained? Ask yourself that question, folks. If no predication can actually be ascertained, then the predications are null and void. They are sound and fury, signifying nothing. Exactly. He has devolved into absurdity by his own concession. But he's just like, he's like the knight who got his arm cut off in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And he says, "My God, man, I've cut your arm up. It's only a flesh wound." And then the knight cuts off his other arm and then his two legs. And he says,
Running away, eh? You yellow bastard! Come back here and take what's coming to you! I'll bite your legs off!
While he's lying there, limbless.
I'm still waiting for a reason as to why the view held by you guys is
Dude,
not as arbitrary as mine.
Listen to me, Pogan. What the fuck don't you get? You've already swallowed the cyanide. Once you assert that nothing can be asserted and ascertained, it's game over. Why would you ask for somebody to make a predication to you when no predications can be ascertained?
Sure, because we can mutually agree upon a presupposition.
Okay. No, that's another. Can that assertion be ascertained?
Subjectively, yes.
No, sir. Is it true that it can be subjectively ascertained?
With respect to what?
Okay, listen to me. Guess what? You are completely now on my troll list. You, sir, as Mr. Batman says, you, sir, are a liar. Okay? Listen to me. You're not fooling anyone in the room.
Pogan, I'm going to answer your question, sir, and I hope you've got a pencil and paper. And here's the answer to your question.
Yeah, I can't take
Pizza
this.
flies easy. Pizza flies easy over the West, therefore much Batman Harley Quinn. There is the answer to your question.